Rolling. Mic speaking up in three, two.
Hello and welcome to Africa Stars podcast. I'm your host, Carlos C.K. Kambaikwa. I'm joined here by Mr. Ronnie Canadelo, better known as the Magnet, a man who needs no introduction in the annals of Namibian football. He's the incumbent coach of Africa Stars, the recently crowned Namibian champions. Ronnie, welcome to the program. And once again, congratulations for steering the team to victory. Um,
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
yes.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you came into Africa Stars at the last, let's say, the last hurdle.
Yeah.
Was there any mandate when you were appointed as the new coach to Africa Stars? Was there any mandate that you had to achieve?
Yeah. I mean, when I came in, the team was, I think, second or third. But the point margins were 1 or 2 or something like that. I think Tura Magic, Nampol, African Stars. Yeah, but the mandate was very clear. Coach, we're making changes and we're looking at you and the mandate. We want to win the league, want to play good football. And then I said, yeah, I mean, you have the quality. Winning the league shouldn't be a problem.
So you were comfortable with the challenge?
Yeah, I was very much comfortable. If I wasn't, then I don't think I would have taken up the job.
So what were the challenges you faced at the beginning? I mean, look, you played professional football in South Africa for Sundowns, one of the best clubs in Africa. You were coached by some of the top coaches in the world, and you came from a different setup, and then you were with UNAM, then African Stars. So what were the challenges that you faced as a new coach coming into a new environment?
Look, when you come at such a short period toward the end of the league, the challenges are normally the playing personnel because you inherit players from the previous coaches. The game model. Do you change? Do you not change? So basically, it was just from the playing side of it, not from the club itself. But the challenges was basically the direction that I need to take with the players at my disposal.
Were the players able to buy into your football philosophy? I mean, coming in, obviously, you have a different philosophy from the previous coach, the way you want them to play. And
most of the players I've worked with, worked with Awilo at Black Africa national team. I worked with Vitapi national team. I worked with Charles Stiga, Disiro. Worked with Edmund at UNAM. So most of the players I was familiar with, and they also know what type of coach I am, what type of football I like to play, etc. So, it was not entirely a new environment in terms of the playing personnel.
Okay, the league title was up for grabs until probably the second last match. And when you wrap it up with a 1 match to go, it was actually impossible for the other team to score 15 goals and for you to lose against a relegation threatened team. But still, I think it was a tough task, considering that all eyes were on you as a person and your personality. You comes with a big name, and you were up against a lot of challenges, and obviously also this thing of teams having to go and play 2 matches within the space of 24 hours. How did these things affect your preparations, your planning for the match?
Yeah, look, that's one thing that needs to be discussed. The 2 games over a weekend. The day in consecutive days. It's not healthy for players. That's one. Number two, it also disturbs it interferes with the social lifestyle of the players, because they are human beings. Can't be just weekend after the other. It's just football, and during the week is training. When do the players actually have life for themselves and their families? And those could also be some of the contributing factors towards why players decide to go off the rail, and end up doing things, that they are not supposed to, in terms of indiscipline, etc. So those are some of the things that we need to look into as well, and. But looking at the race itself, yes, there were difficult games. The toughest was obviously the Chula and Mighty Gunners game, and but I went into this game, with a very positive mind. I knew that if we play in a certain way, we'll come out with a result against Chula. The Mighty Gunners game, we basically were looking at getting a point out of it, because they had a day of rest, and we had to play
and travel.
But our game also started late. Instead of 2:00, our game started at 6:00 and past 6 actually, because it started raining. So we finished a little bit late, and we had to do our recovery in terms of the ice bath and eat and immediately travel. We arrived in Chuarongo, past midnight, and when you arrive past midnight, you have players that will struggle with sleep, and you'll have players that will end up sleeping, around 3 or 4, and when it comes to waking up, it's anything can happen. You can't tell a player to sleep for 6-7 hours, and yes, others will, some will not, and that can also affect your plans in terms of the dynamics of the game as well. But we didn't lose the game. We didn't lose the game because we were tired, etc. But I always look into what happened, how did this go, and it was just wrong decision making. We played the ball in the wrong area instead of going in on the side into a 1-against-1, and stretch them a little bit. And we played a short pass. They intercepted, and they play on a counter, long ball counter attack, and because they have fast players, and then that was it. But we had a very good moment towards the end with Awilo and Juja, where the goalkeeper made good double save, in the space of a split second. But I think we should have actually buried that ball But after that, it was just all systems go. It was also easier for the players to understand what I want. Yes, we had a few difficulties in terms of, especially our midfield, which is not well balanced, and we had to find ways to bring in players from their initial positions and see, based on the qualities they have, how they can fit into the midfield roles, so that we can play through the phases and try and see whether with their individual qualities they can give us that dynamic in the midfield. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people talk about big squads. Now you have a big squad. Why do we complain about playing Saturdays and Sunday? You got to rotate players. Now, me personally, I'm not a great believer of rotation. Even if I watch international football, you have your 11 players, your best 11 players, unless you're playing probably in a cup game where you can make a little bit of changes here. Do you believe in rotating players?
No, no, I don't believe in.
How does it affect anyway?
Look, if you have the quality, and the margins, and the quality between two players are very small, it's the characteristics are more or less the same, yes, you can. I mean, if you take a Charles out, you must have another guy who is very close to what Charles is giving you, Vitapi, etc. In the goalkeeping department, yes, we're quite sorted with Ndisiro and Lukaku, so the margins are very, very small. There are certain elements,
Layers, yeah.
that I can see. Most people cannot see it, but I don't talk about it, but I can, I can see so, but. Talking about the two goalkeepers, they both good goalkeepers, different qualities, and but as I said, there's small elements, but we can survive with those elements. It's not major issues. In the other positions, yes, you have your youngsters that are very dynamic, quick. They give you a different element, dimension compared to your Juja and your Awilo, your wet tools, but the qualities are still not the same. At certain moments you can see that your big players are not really giving you what you want, but you don't want to tamper with a squad or with a team at that particular moment, and then you wait until you get something that you want, and then you can say, okay, now I can bring in the younger ones and to complement where the other guys left off.
Now, African Stars played 3 times against Chula Chula. First game ended in a draw. And then they lost in the Hurricane Cup, which was actually a very disappointing result, which culminated in the coach also being shown the exit door. And then you went up to the north. Obviously, I don't think they were actually title contenders, but there were a lot of hype around them and the crowd and everything. And you beat them at the home turf. Was that, shall we say, that was the defining point where you could see, now guys, if we can fashion a result here, we can actually win the title. What was your message to the players?
Yeah, I watched their first match, Chula Chula's African Stars, the Akakengo. I had the luxury to see it on YouTube. It was a game of interest for me, in terms of what is in this Chula Chula team, what is going on, and etc. And I also use some of the footage, in my, because I was doing my KFA license as well, so I would use some of the moments in my assignment, where I had to cut certain clips and created a training session out of it. And I watched the Chula Chula games, African Stars, and it's a game that Stars was supposed to win. That's one. Number two, I looked at how Stars supposed to win in terms of the chances they created and didn't take. And I look at how Chula Chula scored. It was just a miscommunication between the two central defenders and the goalkeeper, and then they capitalized on that. The Hake Kingop one, Stars was under strength, obviously, because some of their players were out with the national team. So Chula Chula capitalized on that, and but when we went to the north, I said, okay, this weekend we're playing Chula Chula, we're playing Mighty Gunners. It's going to be a lot of long balls, there's going to be a lot of running, it's a game of war. So you need soldiers. So what I did, I just played with a 6-6, Stiga and Besha. Besha with a bit of aggression, Stiga controlling the situation, and I told Besha, okay, you go for Shidolo. Wherever he goes, Besha, you go with him. He goes deep, you go with him. He comes, it attacks, you go with him. So we neutralize them in that aspect, and Stiga played with, it went on to, what is it?
Levy.
On Levy but I know Levy. Levy is not physically a very strong player,
Very skillful,
yeah. So he's skillful, but I said it will not work in this game. So you just neutralize him. Let Besha do all the dirty work along next to you, And yes, it was 1-0, but I think we could have. I will had, I think, very good chances to increase the game. Yes, Chula towards the end, they started throwing everything. They started overloading certain areas, and it's normal when you are losing. You increase your intensity, and they try to take control of the game towards the end. But as I said, it was a game of where we need to fight for 90 minutes plus, and that's what we did. We took our chance from a set piece, and
To be brutally honest, I know all coaches, you have your calendar. You take now this date away game against Chula. Look at the record, though. 1 point, 3 points. Did you go there full out? To fashion 3 points or 1 point?
We went to.
Were you confident?
We went to Chula with 3 points in our mind. There's a friend of ours, who came to the hotel, and he was like, "Coach, you have to win this game." I said, "No, we're going to beat Chula. We're going to beat Chula. So after the game, he came and said, "Thank you very much." The whole idea was 3 points.
So you targeted 3 points.
Yes. And it started raining, which was also good because now we could play our normal. We could try and play through the faces because the surface is wet, so the ball will, instead of bouncing around, it will just skid, and that was also the plus point.
Now the feedback from the players in terms of playing and behavior, were the players comfortable or in buying into your football philosophy, their level of professionalism, what you want to do? I'm sure that you come from a very high level, and the players have to buy into your philosophy.
Yeah.
So how was it?
No, you simplify it. We had a day after training where I brought my monitor, brought my laptop, and we connected it, and then I showed them the game model, how I want things to be done with diagrams, etc. And explain the moments of the games. The 5 moments of the game: the attack, defense, and the 2 transitions, and the main principles and the sub principles in all aspects of those moments, and what I expect, and when you give that to the player, then it's easier, because when you talk to the player, you only address what you have shown them and what you are doing at training. I'm not the guy that comes to a team talk and then I start asking for things that I didn't do during the week. I only ask for what we have been doing. If you lose the ball and you don't try to win it back, which is a counter press, not to allow the opponent to play the forward pass. So when you don't do it, that's I just go back to the game model, and to go back to the exercises that we are doing during the week at training, and that's all, and that's all you can do as a coach. You cannot ask for what you haven't teach, because I know in the past, you have coaches that ask from players what they didn't coach during the week, because you train the way you play, and you play the way you train. That's my understanding. You know, I can't go into a game and say today we are playing 3-5-2, but during the week we're training from the 4-3-3 formation. Every dynamic was from the 4-3-3 formation. Every little thing that we were doing the training in small numbers is from the 4-3-3 formation or any other formation. So, but you know, when we go into the game, we go into what we have been doing during the week. You know, yeah, that's so from that mindset of or way of doing things. It's easier for players to take in information. You know, so and the first game was always going to be easy. You know, not difficult because everybody and the coaches knew is bringing in new tactical aspects into our game, and for me as a coach, you want to see whether what you did during the week will be applied onto the pitch, you know. And the first game we could have lost to Civics too because of the information the coach has about me. He knows that I like to play from the back through the faces, you know. So he dropped his pressing a line to the middle third and tried to win the ball back and try to win the ball there and go on a break. It's normal. It's normal. I understood, but all you ask from your players is to be a little bit responsible and make sure that they don't
Give the ball away easily.
give the ball away easily because you are open and but we survived. So we survived. We took the point. I said okay, but I also look back in my previous jobs. You know, when I came back from from Bloemfontein, I took over the Black Africa job. It was the same. My first game, after 2 weeks into training, you know, your first match, we lost 2-0. But I was also looking at certain dynamics with the players understanding what I want, and you know, you could see that there was a bit of disappointment. But you know, I just said, look, it's a first game. After this one, things will be better, and it was better because we were 7th on the log. We were chasing stars, and towards the end, I think that Nagen was 10 points, but towards the end, I think it was 4 or 5 points, you know, because it was also very difficult to catch up with stars because they had a very good team and they were taking their points. So yeah, from 7th we took the second position. So from that, and with UNAM we always started slow because we bring in raw players, you know, from Norway academy, second division, first division, you know, and it's. You have to coach. If you are not coaching, you will not develop. You will not get anything out of these players. So based on that, I knew that the first game will be easy. You know, the second game against Tigers, you know, because I told the chairman then in the meeting that look, we have no business to lose against Civics and Tigers, you know, and the second game was much easier. Easier because Bakero just took over Tigers and up to
Against his former team.
up to 2 days before he took over 3 days before he took over the Tigers job.
He was still new in the job.
Yeah, actually 2 days because he left on the Thursday and Friday was with Tigers and we playing on Sunday. So he had the information and how we have been working during these 2 weeks or the 10 days that he was with me, etc. And but I know he wants to play football, but I also knew that it was going to be very, very difficult for them to do that in a very short space of time. So they were just reacting to what we are going to present on the day, which was easier. And the second half, he made one mistake. He tried to use a system that I introduced. A system that he will always come to me and say, "Coach, I want to play the 4-4-2 diamond with the dynamics, etc., etc." And I said, and so he came with that approach. But the one mistake he made is that he didn't put a diamond; he put a square midfield. So two, the two attacking and two number 10s and two 6s. So what I did, I said I don't have to change or equal the numbers in midfield. I'll go with a 3-man midfield. I'll just go with a 6-6 and I'll put my 10 in between his two defensive midfielders. So now they have to decide who is taking that number 10. So either way, there's always going to be an imbalance in their setup when we have the ball. And defensively, I just put my 10 again between the two 6s and just shift my players around when we are defending. So, and they struggled. There was a lot of energy, but I as long as you are not troubling us, for me, I always say, "Nah, it's okay. We can go for it."
Now, Ronnie, you are the only qualified coach with a license in Namibia. And obviously, that is also somehow ease the pressure on African Stars to bring in foreign coaches. Now, the next step is obviously, I'm sure that African Stars, there's always been their target. They will compete again in the CAF Champions League, where they were narrowly beaten. Are there any areas that you have identified where probably weaknesses, where you need some improvement, where you want to bring in new blood?
Yeah, obviously we need we need aggressive midfielders in attack and defense. When I talk about aggressive, I'm talking about defenders, midfielders with a high energy, and also with a physical strength that can withstand the physical side of the opponents. At the moment we have a Bakonja, we have a Dion. Now we're trying out Kwesi in there. But if we go to the Champions League, they are going to eat us up. That's basically it's deep waters. So we are going to face sharks. In that. On that platform, so we need sharks as well. We need players that can, when things are going against us in terms of not being able to play, then that you have players that can go into a physical battle until we start settling and sorting ourselves out and be able to play. So the midfield for me is the critical area. The number 9 position, which is a striker, it's a critical area. Okay, now we're playing with Awilo there, but he's not a natural. It's not a natural number 9. So we need to play the ball into that area and know that there's someone that will hold the ball for 2-3 seconds and bring the other players into play. You have a number 9 that is willing to aggressively, make runs behind the defense line when they try to pin us down in our own half or from the high press, because we try to play from the back. So when the line is high and you can't play through the faces, then you need players that are willing to make those runs behind the defense line. So yeah, we need to find a balance. We have players that are good in terms of making use of that space, that can make use of that space when the line is high, but they lack other tactical and technical aspects. We need time to develop.
Before I let you go, 2 questions. You know, I've noticed this thing even at African Stars. You see a couple of foreign players sitting on the bench. Now, my way I look at things, I think if a foreign player is not good enough to be in the starting lineup, he should not be on the team books. He should be let go.
No,
I
no.
want to know what your take is on about. The second question, where do you want to take African Stars from here?
Your first question, yes. I mean, we know the standard of our football. We know the level of our footballers. You know, and when you bring a player who is below the level than what we have, then it does make sense. Then it shouldn't be around. But I would. Why does it happen? You know, I would possibly, not possibly, but then we have to question the recruitment process.
Yeah.
You know, how is it possible that we have a substandard foreigner, in our setup, who is not better than
The local guys.
The local guys, So before we go foreign, we have to first strengthen our team, with local base players who are better than what we have. And then the ones that are not good enough for African Stars should actually phase out, and then we bring the better players locally, and then we strengthen with foreign based players that should be in the starting lineup on a week in, week out basis. So yeah, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. The way forward, obviously, yeah, that's something that we need to sit and talk. I'm actually just busy with my report, and then when that is concluded, then obviously we'll have that meeting, and I'll present it to the team, and we'll discuss it, and we'll take the way forward, obviously, from there. But my understanding from where I'm seated now is basically it's clear that we need changes. We need to strengthen the team. At certain moments it's very, very difficult, to look at your bench and say, can I take this risk? And that shouldn't be the case. Should automatically just say, okay, CK, come, the direct swap, give us a different dimension here in this game. I want this and that from you. And that's it. It should not be a case of, okay, now, let's go through that's the issues we have at the moment in certain areas of on the pitch. So we need to fix that.
Thank you very much, Ronnie, and I wish you all the best. And it looks like you're in good space there.
No, thank you. No.
That's we have come to the end of this African Stars podcast. From all of us here, goodbye.
Yeah.